Hi guys, this is Tactical Roberator, and I'm going to do a review of something that I picked up, and I think it's kind of interesting. I got a couple accessories to go with it and kind of personalize it, make it a little bit more to my taste and what I'm more into shooting, but also give me a little bit of option with it. So let's go ahead and get it opened up. And we have a Smith & Wesson M&P full-size 40 caliber. It comes with the gun. I've already installed the largest back strap on the pistol because that's what fits my hand the best. I just like the way it feels. I've had M&Ps in the past, and there were some things I didn't like about them, and these newer models, they've kind of changed stuff up on them a little bit, and I'll explain that when I get to it. I've got 3 mags with it. Got one of them upstairs. As I said, I already opened this box that's got my self-defense ammo in it, and this one's also loaded, so I'm going to go ahead and just move it out of the way, and we'll be working with the empty magazine. It also came with the standard paperwork, spent shell casing, lock, everything that you get when you purchase the gun. 3 bag straps. We've got the small, the medium, and the large that I like on the gun. If you're wanting to know how to change those back straps, I've got other videos. I believe my very first YouTube video that I ever made was the Smith & Wesson M&P 40C, and I go through all of the how to change the back straps. It's real easy. You just pull this pin, pull it out. It also works as a tool, a punch. Just slides right off. And just kind of slides right back on there. It's probably one of the simplest back straps to change. And you just reinsert your little push pin, put it in, empty magazine. We'll go ahead and show that it's clear. Have the little flag still in there, but it's clear, ready to go. I'll go ahead and leave it open. And the 40 comes with a 15 round magazine. The 9mm comes with a 17 round magazine, so it's the same capacity as a Glock 22 and Glock 17 and 9mm. I like the way the magazines fit a little better. They're flush, kind of like it's meant to be with the gun. It doesn't hang off the bottom a little bit like the Glock does. It just looks like it's a little bit better design. I would have to say, in my opinion, the whole gun's just a little bit cleaner. Like they put a little bit more thought into it, a little more time. It's got the really nice scallops. One of the things that they changed about this gun are the sights. They're not the slanted sights anymore. They've got a little bit of an edge there for, it helps with the one-handed manipulation, racking the slide off stuff. The sights are metal, so that's another advantage that it has over the Glock, in my opinion. The loaded chamber indicator is this little peephole, which is, you can't see anything in there because the firearm is empty. It's got a Picatinny rail, and probably my favorite thing, and the reason that I always ended up getting rid of M&Ps in the past, was the trigger. So we'll go ahead, and this does have the this is the model that can fire without the magazine in it. That was something else I didn't like about the ones that I had previously, was they had the magazine safety. I'm not a big fan of the magazine safety. I'm not a big fan of the thumb safety, but those are 2 options the M&P offers if that's something that you're interested in, if you like the extra safety on the gun. I'm used to shooting Glocks. I love shooting Glocks. I like the simplicity and the lack of safeties and buttons. The best safety, as we know, is between your ears and keeping your finger off of this trigger right here. So the trigger's got a nice little bit of take up. It's pretty smooth. It doesn't feel gritty like I've heard some other reviews, so I don't know if that's part of the new trigger system that they've put into effect after they made the shield. I'm pretty sure that's when they changed the trigger system, was when they made the shield, and it had such a better trigger than the full size and the compact M&Ps. But it's got a little bit of take up, and it does have the hinged safe action, whatever you want to call it, trigger. It's got a little bit of take up and then a nice crisp break. But what I really like about it is it has a really nice audible and felt reset. And there it is, ready to go again. And that's something else that I was used to from shooting Glocks. And the previous M&Ps that I had just had a really mushy trigger, a really mushy reset that you couldn't really hear, you could barely feel. And when you were about halfway out, it felt like it reset, but it really didn't. You had to go just a little bit farther for the gun to actually reset. So that's something I always liked the M&Ps, but that trigger just really deterred me from wanting to keep it and wanting to shoot it. I always ended up getting rid of it, but then I heard that they came out with this even better trigger system, and I'm kind of a fan of the M&P again. The magazine release can be switched around, so it can be ambi for left-handed shooters. It comes with a slide lock on both sides, or a slide release, whatever you want to call it. It's really simple to take down. You lock the slide to the rear. You pull the takedown lever to the downward position. Release the slide. You make sure that the gun's safe, clear, but keep it pointed in a safe direction. Go ahead and pull the trigger, and the slide will come right off. It breaks down just like any other M&P or Glock or most of the polymer framed pistols nowadays. It has a stainless steel guide rod, which is really nice. That's something that I wish Glock would make a standard part of their guns. I know you can buy aftermarkets, but it's nice that the stainless steel guide rod comes right out of the box with the gun. Then the barrel comes right out. It is a 4.25 inch barrel, so it's 0.25 inches longer than the Glock 19, which I'm going to do a M&P full size compared to kind of versus a Glock 19, because I've only been able to find one other video on YouTube comparing those two pistols, and in my opinion the Glock 19 is better compared with the M&P full size than with the compact. The compact seems to go a little better with the Glock 26, the subcompact 9mm. Not everyone might feel that way, but I just feel like the 19 is closer to the full-size M&P. The M&P is almost right in the middle size-wise between a Glock 19 and a Glock 17. Now that's just going by the measurements of the gun, putting the guns up next to each other, you know, and just looking at them. It does have the capacity of the Glock 17, but it has a slightly shorter barrel, closer to the size of the Glock 19. I don't know how well you can read on here. Caution, capable of firing with magazine removed. I really wish that that wasn't on there. I see people doing fingernail polish jobs and stuff on this lettering here, and I think what I might do is do a black fingernail polish job and get rid of these letters right here, because I kind of don't like that on there. I wish that that was just milled in black, the same as the rest of the logoing on the gun. M&P 40 on the front, really nice. Then it's got the Smith & Wesson logo. It's got these really nice serrations that, I mean, you can really get a hold of. And I don't want to sound like I'm bashing the Glock, but these are just all things that I think are, in fact, an improvement over the Glock. It's got more traction. You can get a really positive grip on these serrations. The sights are hands down better than the Glock sights. They're metal. They've got this nice ledge. It does have a longer sight radius because it pushes the sights clear to the back of the slide. They're a nice 3-dot sight system that I've had no trouble being pretty accurate. I'm probably a little more accurate with the M&Ps than the Glocks, especially now with this new trigger. I have shot this gun This isn't the first time it's been out of the box, like I said. I couldn't wait to get it out and shoot it. I was pretty excited about purchasing it. But then it goes back together real easy. You just reassemble the barrel, put the spring and the guide rod back in, slide it back onto the frame, and the lever will pop back up and it's back ready to go. Again, it can fire without the magazine end, which to me that's a huge, huge plus. I almost would prefer the magazine disconnect to not be in there and have a thumb safety. That might be a little backwards or weird, but I'm just not a fan of that magazine disconnect. So I'm glad that they have an option that did away with that. Some accessories. I guess while I had the gun apart, I should have went into this a little bit more. I've seen a lot of articles, some YouTube videos of people getting a factory Smith & Wesson 9mm barrel instead of a conversion barrel, and I've heard that there's issues with that. I've seen some videos where there's been some problems with that, but I have purchased here a Smith & Wesson 9mm, I don't know how, there you go, 9mm threaded barrel. Now, when I take this gun down, I paid attention to how well the lockup is with the 40 caliber. I looked at all of the dimensions side by side with each other. You know, like right here's where it's going to lock up into the top of the slide there, and it is identical, if not identical. It's within such a small amount. I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's pretty much identical. It makes that a nice even circle. So the lockup on it is fine. Got to take the thread protector off to get it in there. It slides right in, and then we can put the spring back on. Put the thread protector back on. And as you can see, there's no gap. It locks up just as well as the 40 caliber did. If I have to get a different extractor and a different ejector, then I'll purchase those. Those are fairly cheap to convert this to a 9mm, which is what I plan on doing. I got a really good deal on this M&P 40. For whatever reason, the 40s are a lot less expensive when you buy them on the used market than the 9mm are, and I think that threaded barrel looks really nice in there. And then also I purchased a Blackhawk Xiphos NXT weapon light, and there's a little issue I guess I have with the Blackhawk Xiphos light. I've got to contact Blackhawk, but I've got the same light on my Glock 19, and I didn't foresee having this issue, but it is what it is. And I'll show you here. This little lever that flips up and down, the quick detach, in order to get it tight enough on the gun, it was pretty tight, and this lever is made of polymer or a plastic, and when I pushed it down, it snapped off. That did extend clear down to here, and it kind of snapped off. So I got to get a hold of Blackhawk and see what they're going to do about that. I'm hoping that they will just send me a new little lever, because there's not anything else wrong with the light. Sorry about that, but the light works really well. The gun looks really nice with the Xiphos on it and the extended barrel. It'll work really good for what I'm planning on using it for, my duty weapon at work. But everything cycles really nice. I've got to get some magazines for 9mm. I borrowed one of my friend's M&P 9mm full size because I have the compact, but I borrowed the 9mm full size magazine, and everything cycled really good. I'm going to have to get a couple magazines of my own so I can get a video made on that, so you can check that out. I didn't have any problems with it ejecting or extracting. Now I know, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with the Blackhawk Xiphos, it is off center, and it's supposed to be that way. In order for it to fit into the level 3 Serpa holster, it has to be off centered so it can lock up right here. It doesn't affect anything about the way the light works. It's got strobe, and then it's got regular, so I mean, it's a really bright bulb. Works really well on my Glock, so I like the feel of this. The ergonomics are better, in my opinion, than the Glock. I've always been a huge fan of the Glock, but I've got a feeling that with this new trigger, this is going to be the gun that is going to be my go-to gun, and I've already got the holsters for it that works with the light. It's pretty much ready to go. I just need to get some 9mm magazines, and I want to put probably 500-600 rounds through it just to make sure that it's going to function properly without a different ejector and without a different extractor. But like I said, if I need to purchase those, they're fairly inexpensive. The barrel ran me right around $100, and the light was, I think it was $120. On Amazon, they're $150 right now. I know you can buy a knockoff for right around $60, but I wasn't really big into buying the knockoff light. I don't know exactly why. I wanted to get the real thing, make sure it linked up with my holster and everything right. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave any questions, comments, concerns, anything that you've got to say down in the comments, and I'll try to address it just as quickly as I can. But let me know what you think of my setup, and if you have any opinions or thoughts on the light, the barrel, any comments. If you have the 9mm barrel, if it works well in your M&P 40, if you had to change the ejector and extractor. But so far it has ran good, but I only went through a box of 50 115 grain 9mm ammo, so I've got to put significantly more rounds through it before I can call it reliable as far as to carry on a regular basis. But again, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It definitely helps out, and enjoy the videos. Thanks.